Hey guys, Lopatka here, and today I'm going to show you this fun little tarantula riff. So first off, what are arpeggios? A lot of musicians don't even know. I had one guy tell me they're the same thing as pierogies. Yeah, not the same thing. So, what is an arpeggio? Well, it's when you take a chord, like this, and you split it up into individual notes, like this. So if you ever heard a singer warming up and sing something like pa 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 pa, you've heard them sing an arpeggio. And arpeggios are really important to singers, but they're also really important to bass players. I mean, there are so many great bass lines out there that are just arpeggiations of the chords that the guitarist is playing. But you know, practicing them can be kind of a drag, especially when you're doing... I mean, how many times can we play that before we want to bludgeon ourselves in the head? So, I've come up with this tarantula riff to make it at least a little bit more enjoyable and to get you comfortable playing up and down the neck. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is pick a scale. I've chosen C major, but any scale will work. Then, from each note in the scale, we want to build a chord up into the ninth. So, as I had mentioned in another video, to build a chord, we're going to move in thirds. So we're going to start at C, we're going to move it up a third to E, which would be our third, then up a third to G, which is our fifth, up a third to B, which is our seventh, and finally up one more third to D, which is our ninth. So C, E, G, B, D are our root, third, fifth, seventh, and ninth. And this is a C major 9 chord, but don't get too hung up on names. So then we apply this pattern, this tarantula pattern. And we'll start the root, which is C, move up to our fifth, which is G, and then up to the ninth, D. Root, fifth, ninth, C, G, D. Now we'll go back to our seventh, B, down to our fifth, G, and finally to our third, E. So the second half is B, G, E. Seventh, fifth, third. So let's hear that all together. Root, fifth, ninth, seventh, fifth, third. So now we'll go up to the next note in the scale, which is D. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to make a chord up to the ninth. So we're going to move in thirds from D. So D is our root, move up to F, our third, move up to A, our fifth, up to C, our seventh, and finally end at E, our ninth. So D, F, A, C, E is our D minor 9 chord. Root, third, fifth, seventh, and ninth. So, let's apply the pattern to that. We start at D, our root, up to the fifth, A, and then up to the ninth, E. Root, fifth, ninth, D, A, E. Now for the second half of the pattern, we'll go down to the seventh, C, back to the fifth, A, and finally end at the third, F. C, A, F. Seventh, fifth, third. Let's hear how that all sounds together. Root, fifth, ninth, seventh, fifth, third. So we're going to continue this process all the way up the scale. So next E, F, G, A, B, and then end at C. So then when you're going backwards, we're just going to take the pattern and we're going to reverse it. So instead of root 5th, 9th, 7th, 5th, 3rd that we did on the way up, on the way down we're going to do 7th, 5th, 3rd, root 5th, 9th. So let me demonstrate with the D minor to the C major chord that we already went over. So when you come all the way down to D minor, you're going to start on the 7th. So C, 7th, 5th, 3rd, then down to D, root 5th, 9th. So hear that again. 7th, 5th, 3rd, root 5th, 9th. Now when we transition to the C major chord, we'll go down to B, the 7th, 7th, 5th, 3rd, root 5th, 9th, then end at C. So let's hear that. Seventh, fifth, third, root, fifth, ninth, seventh, fifth, third, root, fifth, ninth. Well, that's about all there is to it. Now remember, work on this slowly, because if you play it too fast too soon, you're just going to end up learning your mistakes, and that's not going to do you any good. Now we only worked on this in one key, C major, but I'd recommend working it out in all 12 keys, which I know sounds a little daunting, but after you've worked in 2 or 3, it won't be that bad. And if you're feeling really ambitious, try in some more foreign keys, like harmonic or melodic minor. Well, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.